So, welcome to another Driving Down the Highway reflection on what's important in life. How do we value things? How do we have a happy life? How can we be joyful? You know, especially when everybody's talking about inflation and not being able to afford everything that they want, or having to cut out vacations and that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of things in life that we can do that help us have the value, and all of it, remember, surrounds relationship. So if you have good relationships, you can sit in your backyard around a fire, roasting marshmallows and yakety-yakking and having a great time. But that's not what this is about today. I'm getting off on a tangent. I want to talk about how people perceive cars. Today I want to just talk about cars, because we think that capitalism is making the rich richer and the poor poorer. That's what the people in certain different arenas like to say about when their favorite party is not in power, is that there's too many people at the bottom of the totem pole. There's too many people that can't get a leg up on the ladder, and they're impoverished, and we need to have them have a way to advance in their lives. Well, I want to balance that with a perspective. Nowadays, let's say you are making not a big wage, but you're working, because I believe that it is a virtue to work. And I think it's a virtue to be honest. I think it's a virtue to look out for the people that are paying your wages. Those are all virtues. If you've got those virtues, but let's say you're making $30,000 a year, $25,000, whatever, minimum wage. There are ways to have things to be able to prosper. But as I was thinking about cars, I was thinking about how we consider certain vehicles to be inferior to others. I used to drive a Kia. For many years I drove a Kia Sophia, which they don't even make those anymore. But let's say you have a Kia Rio, and you're like, oh, I wish that I had a real car. I have to drive a Kia Rio. Hey, can I give you a perspective on that? That Kia Rio has more bells and whistles on it than a Mercedes-Benz from the 1940s, okay? Take a perspective. A luxury vehicle from 1949 didn't have air conditioning, but I bet you your Kia Rio has air conditioning. And almost every vehicle up until I was a teenager had handles that you had to crank up and down. I bet you your Kia Rio doesn't crank up and down. I bet you it has heat. I bet you it has cool. I bet you it has a stereo system that you can actually listen to music. Hey, I remember when the only way you could listen to music is listen to a bunch of static and try to get the 3 stations in on the radio. And before that, there wasn't even any radio. A lot is a matter of perspective. We live in the lap of luxury if we drive a Kia Rio. And compared to most of the people, like 99% of the people in the world, having a car is like the wealthiest thing they can think of. That is like mega rich. So even if you are living in a small apartment, if you're not living in that apartment with 4 other families, and if you're not having to share a chicken between 12 people along with a lot of rice, and you're not having to use a fan to keep yourself cool on a 100-degree day, guess what? You're one of the richest people in the world. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel guilty if you desire to make more, have more, but just remember, we always need a perspective, because I want to tell you something about wealth. The more you get, the more you want. I remember it was a statement, I think it was by J.P. Morgan, they said after he became a multimillionaire, they said, how much is enough? How much is enough? And JP Morgan responded, a little bit more. If your life is like that, where you think that the only way you're going to have enough is to have a little bit more, you're never ever going to feel the freedom of the riches of living in this great nation. I just encourage you, get a perspective. Think about how many people don't have. Think about how advanced our society is with economic wealth, and say thank you, because we live in a wonderful, wonderful place where you can dream dreams and actually see them accomplished. Like, you can be 62 years old, 63 years old. How old am I? 63 years old, and you can start a YouTube channel. It's amazing. Just a little road rant.